Hi friends, how are we doing today? How is everybody? I am still in my childhood bedroom, but next video I'll be back at my apartment. But since I am in my childhood bedroom, I thought it might be fun to go through some of the random tchotchkes I found in here. So I've lived in this house my entire life. I've never moved, or my family's never moved. I ended up moving, to Philadelphia, but I only moved from the room across the hall to this room when I was about 13. Up until that point, it had been my grandmother's room because she lived with us, and long before that, it was my parents' room. So, this room has had a lot of inhabitants, and this is quite an old house, so it had many inhabitants before us as well. I do feel like this room is like just a little bit haunted. Like, I've never had any negative experiences in here, knock on wood. But it's about the vibes, it's about the energy, and because this was my parents' room, I brought it up to them one time, and my mom was like, no, not at all, because she's just like not someone who gets the vibes, but my dad was like, oh, definitely, and I was like, cool, glad I've been validated on this, I think. So anyway, this has been my room for about a decade, a little over now, but yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it. So, what should we start with? I have a bunch of little, like, bags. Little tiny bags of stuff. And actually, two of them I know for a fact hold the same thing. So, let's start with one of those. This is the first bag. It's this little cloth bag. Yeah. Just checking my microphone settings. I fixed the echo, hopefully, but I'm still worried. So, this is a bag of little handmade dolls. It is a family of them, I believe. There's this one. So there's like two big ones for the parents. And then there's some children. They're hard to get out. Oh, I forgot how many little, like, accessories they came with. This is exciting. Okay. So, our little family consists of these parents. I'm doing the makeup artist hand because the lighting in here is no bueno right now because it is nighttime. It is nighttime. I'm doing my best with this lighting. It's not particularly vibrant. But here are the parents. And then we have a small child. And then we have a baby in a little bassinet. This is what our baby looks like. Here, I'll show you the children. And I can't super remember where these came from, but I had some family members who did quite a bit of traveling, and I was very much a doll kid. I don't have any left in here. They are all in storage, but I had 2 American Girl dolls. I had Josefina and I had Addie. I got Josefina secondhand, and I bought Addie myself. I saved up for her with money I earned from, I did like little jobs for my neighbors and stuff, and I saved up, and I think my parents ended up spotting me like the final $20, but I was so proud. It was like my first big purchase, but they are in storage, unfortunately. Actually, I might have them. I think Addie and Josefina might be in here. I'll check in a sec, but maybe I'll see them in this video. But because I was such a doll kid, when people would travel or when it was my birthday, people would bring me various dolls. And I did like genuinely play with them. Like I absolutely played with these. But I actually, coming up next is another set of handmade dolls. And I played with those a little more, but I'll show you those in just a sec. But I like this little broom. They're just very simple, beautiful little dolls, I think. Alright, let's put those away. We have the broom, the little basket, these utensils. Then we have the parents, the child, and the baby in the bassinet. And there's a little, you know what, I can't remember if I put this on here or if it came with it, but there's little wire flowers on the bassinet. It's really a 50-50 shot of if I put them on there or that's how it was supposed to be. I liked to take these bags of dolls on like trips and stuff because it was easier than bringing like my bigger dolls. And I really credit my doll playing to my writing nowadays. I would just play with the dolls and come up with stories, and I was going through some of my older dolls a few years ago, and I realized that my 3 favorite dolls from that set were actually a perfect mirror of characters that I had put in a story I was writing, and I was like, wow, I did that completely subconsciously. But anyway, these dolls, this one actually has a tag that they were handmade in Guatemala, and it's from the company UBAVIM, United for a Better Life. This was made by a woman named Carmen, and it says, by paying a fair price for this product, you are enabling Guatemalan women to pull themselves out of poverty and to care for their families. You are also helping to support an alternative primary school, daycare, and medical clinic in the marginalized community where they live. So, handmade, and it comes in, it's not necessarily a bag, it just kind of unfolds, and the doll's set in there. And this is no accessories, just a little family. I think they're so beautiful. I definitely played with this set more. Here are our parents with their beautiful cloth skirts. And they have little wire arms. These are so dear. So I'm trying to put them back in, and then I'll get the kids out. And then we have three little children. None of them are like the babies in the other set, but they're very cute. I never had Barbies as a kid because my parents didn't like them very much. But I had these dolls called Only Hearts Club dolls that were like kind of wholesome Barbies. And I have some. I kept all of them because I loved them. And they live in a bin under my desk. And they all have... Hold on. Sorry, I was grabbing the dolls because they really do just live. It's a little like footstool storage thing. None of these dolls are wearing their original clothes, and I'll tell you why. So, these are the dolls. I'm not gonna take this monstrosity of an outfit off, but they have cloth posable bodies. And because they had cloth posable bodies, it made it very easy to design my own clothes for them. So I would take fabric scraps and I would put them on these dolls in their clothes. So they're all still wearing their fabric scrap clothes from 14 years ago. This one was the first one I got. Her name is Lily. And as you can see, I made a little choker for her out of wire and a bead. I have about 13 of them. I'm not going to show you all 13. Just show you a couple. My three favorites were Lily, and this one is Brianna, I think. I might be getting these names wrong. And she has such cute little curly hair and little curly bangs. And she's wearing a tutu I made out of tulle. And because they had cloth bodies, I used thumbtacks. Here, I'll take this one out. It's just a thumbtack to keep their clothes in place. So that's Brianna. This one, I want to say her name was Hannah, but I might be imagining that. And she's also got an outfit with tulle and a little gold thumbtack that keeps her dress on. Kind of a layered look. She's got like, this is a piece of an old pair of sweatpants. And I don't know where the tulle came from, but I definitely got creative with it. So those are my 3 favorites. I loved them all. This one, I want to say her name was Olivia. Some of them that were made a little later have plastic feet, as opposed to just like little cloth nubs. And she's wearing this strawberry print dress I made out of a piece of strawberry fabric. Maybe she is the blueprint for that strawberry dress that was so popular during lockdown a few years ago. But yeah, they've all got outfits like that. You don't need to see all of them. But I was a big doll kid. I've always been a people person. Like, I wasn't like an animal kid. I was definitely a doll kid. And I would always draw people, and I like to write about people, and I like to work with people, and yeah, I was always interested in people. Next up is a little bag with doll shoes in it for these Only Hearts Club dolls. We don't really need to go through all of them, but I'm having a fun time going down memory lane. I wish these dolls were still in production because they're so adorable. And I think they were like a really great alternative to Barbies because they allowed for a lot of creativity that I didn't feel with Barbies. So, a lot of these shoes don't have a matching pair, but these do. They're little pink heeled. Whoa. Sorry for throwing those at you. They're little pink heeled Mary Janes. I think they would actually be really trendy right now. I'm not gonna lie. I know some people who would wear those. And then there's like a black pair, but I only have one, but they're the same thing. And then one of the dolls came with boots with the fur. Very cute. One of them came with slippers, little slippers, little slippers, little slippers. And then I have a bunch of unmatched sneakers. This one came with a sock. The sock is like in the shoe, it's part of the shoe. These are cute little pink sneakers. I'm sorry you can't see these very well because the lighting is so bad. These are yellow ones. I still have all their clothes just at the bottom of the bin that they live in, covered by fabric scraps. Little yellow sneaker, very cute. So, that was that bag. Not the most interesting bag, but some of this is just for me, you know. Some of this is just me enjoying going through stuff I loved as a kid. I haven't opened this baggie yet. It's a little baby purse with some embroidery on it. Also, I keep talking about the lighting, but if you're wondering why I'm not turning on that lamp behind me, it's because I tried and I was horribly, horribly backlit. So, that's all. So let's open up this little baggie. And see what's inside. This was very common for me as a kid to just kind of have a random bag that I would put a bunch of random things in. I have what looks like a Playmobil picture frame. Definitely not that interesting. I have this tiny, tiny, tiny doll. Probably another handmade one, but I don't know where it's from. She's got little braids that are like so impossibly tiny. She's so little. Or next to my face. What else? What else is in the bag? Oh, this inexplicable metal bowl. Who knows what this was from? A hairband. A worry doll. I was wondering when one of these would come up. I had a lot of worry dolls. A lot of people would give them to me. And I don't know if it was because I liked dolls or because I was an anxious child. Little worry doll. I had so many, and they would just kind of end up in everything. A tiny little ceramic pot. I definitely bought this at my mother used to work at a place that had an Oktoberfest, except it was like their version of Oktoberfest, and it was really just an art mart. Started my love of art marts, and there was a booth that made little tiny pottery, and I definitely bought this there. And then what's left in here is a bunch of tiny stuff. We have 1, 2, 3 Lego crystals, 1, 2, 3 Lego crystals. Who knows where those were from? I have a broken bead, a purple bead, three of these little blue beads, that sound quite nice together in my personal opinion, and a piece of sea glass. So, quite the collection of treasures in this little bag, I'd say. I just dropped the purple bead. No. Let's put them all back in there. I feel like now they're like a set of things, you know. They don't have any other home but this bag that they've been sitting in for well over a decade. I'll find that purple bead later. Okay. What else do I have to show you guys? This is actually quite similar to that little bag I just showed you, because this is actually a box with things in it. But more importantly, it is a beautiful little purple house. It's definitely something with my parents that had someone who made these little houses, and I fell in love with the purple one. So this has been in my room forever. The roof comes off. And inside are dolls. I have this little Lego girl. I have this somewhat creepy Playmobil doll, but I always really liked it. I liked when my dolls had dolls, you know what I mean? And then everything else in here is a worry doll. I have 5 worry dolls in here. A whole gaggle of them. If you're not familiar with what a worry doll is, you are supposed to tell your worries to them, and put them under your pillow before you go to sleep. And they will help take your worries away. I cannot remember what culture they're from, so I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, there's our little house. Our little house, little house, little house, little house, little house. Nice. Alright. Our last bag, I just thought would sound nice. It's just a little sachet of lavender. I love lavender. I should probably take this back to Philly with me if I'm being honest. It's still so fragrant I wish you could smell it through the camera. But you're just gonna have to settle for sound, I guess. There we go. Alright. I have a few more things to show you, including this unbroken geode. My grandmother brought me and my brother back geodes from her travels, and my brother broke his open, and I did not, because honestly, I was quite taken by the exterior of it, and there's definitely a little something in there, little piece of rock or crystal or something just rattling around, and I was very entertained by that. Yeah, I'm not sure how much that's showing up on the mic for you, actually. What else? I have this embroidered pillow that I made. I'm not very good at embroidery, and I haven't done any since. But I made this when I was about 14. It's made out of fabric scraps and stuffed with fabric scraps. And it says, "Rock and roll is here to stay." From that Neil Young song. It says rock. And then I drew or embroidered some little flowers around the words. I never finished it. I never closed it up. I should do that. 10 years later, I should do that. Alright, to get a little less wholesome, I have this. You can read it. I'm not going to read it. But my grandfather was kind of a character. And he had a cabin down by the river where he would go and do fishing and crabbing and stuff. And when he died, my dad was cleaning out the cabin, and he asked me if there was anything I wanted from it, anything that reminded me of him. And the Campbell's soup was my favorite, and I asked for it. It's got text all around the can. The can is in absolutely terrible And I don't know what that liquid is, but I hope it's not, 50-year-old Campbell soup. It says on the back, this can is not designed to resemble any other known product. And the ingredients are concentrated happiness, essence of joy, laughing gas, giggling, preservatives, all natural kisses, and flavored with lots of love. And the recipe on the back is for love sauce. 1 well-built woman, 1 well-built man, 2 bottles of chilled white wine, 1 room with low lights, 5 records for lovers only. In a room with low lights, add well-built woman and 1 very good-looking man on a waterbed. Next, open the chilled white wine. Gently add music for lovers only. This recipe is guaranteed to work. If it doesn't, open a new can and start all over again. And it's got like nutritional value. Lust, calories burned 11. Listening to music, you burn 3 for light classical and 4 for rock. Embracing and hugging, 5 calories. Kissing, 5 for regular, 1 for passionate. Just a whole bunch of goofiness on this rusty old can. But it reminds me of my grandfather. There's like crud all over me now. It's so gross. It's in terrible condition. Another thing from my grandfather is this old camera. I'm not even gonna try and open it. I don't trust the condition that it's in. He was a very interesting man. He was diagnosed with cancer when he was, I believe, in his 40s, and told he had just a couple months to live, and then ended up living another 35 years. That is the camera. I also have this old little point and shoot. It is very much out of batteries, but I used to love, I still love taking pictures, but I would always bring a little point and shoot camera around with me, and I would walk to school with a group of friends, and I'd take pictures of us walking to and from school, and I'd take pictures of my brother, and I'd take pictures of my friends, and I just have so many of them. I had several point and shoots, but this one I got from my grandmother and her husband when I was about 11, and I used to put it in the outside pocket of my lunchbox and take it to school with me. I believe it broke, which is why I stopped using it. Because as you can tell, the lens hasn't gone all the way back into the camera. And I think it is supposed to. I think something got broken and jammed in there. Otherwise, I would charge it up and use it. Alright, and we are coming down the home stretch. I just have one final item for you. I have this My Chemical Romance Black Parade album. It's an anniversary of the Black Parade. It's not like from that time. I believe this is relatively recent. But I thought it was funny because it says welcome back to the Black Parade. And my chem was still broken up when this was released. And now I'm actually going to see the Black Parade being performed live by my chem this summer because they are no longer broken up. And it comes with posters in the middle, posters of the whole band, and then we have Gerard. The whole band again. I love Gerard Way. This sounds so like, obviously, I'm a former emo kid. I feel like I've been very open about this. But like, I still love him and everything he creates. Just absolute gender envy, I'm not gonna lie to you. We have Frank and Gerard. And this picture. This is so funny. And then Mikey Way. Does Ray Toro? Ray Toro doesn't get his own poster. That's so sad. At these pictures. And then just this photo of Frank, but he's not, that's not a poster. Anyway, I was thinking I'd bring this back to Philly with me. Like I said, it's not that old. But I thought it might be fun to flip through, but I just need to figure out how to do a top-down camera setup. Because right now my little phone tripod cannot handle that. It cannot handle that, it just falls over. So, if anyone has any recommendations on how to do that, I would love to hear it, even after sitting here and watching me talk about dolls and My Chemical Romance. Just visiting my past. My past is dolls and My Chemical Romance. I don't know, man. I have no explanation. No explanation. No defense. Honestly, I still kind of stand by it. And I know I mentioned the American Girl dolls earlier, but I do think they're definitely in storage because I can't find them in here. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little trip down my personal memory lane. I hope that you have a great afternoon, evening, morning, whatever, and I will see you